Yo, this is why you aren't jacked. I'm going to give you 5 reasons today why you're not as jacked as you want to be. These 5 are pretty clear, man. So just be ready for it. It's going to hurt. All right. Number 1, you're not doing enough frequency. You're not training hard. You're not training frequent enough. When you go, yeah, every muscle that you train takes anywhere, and again, it depends on the person, but it takes anywhere between 24 to 72 hours for that muscle to fully recover. So if you're training body parts once per week, you're missing out on windows of opportunity for growth. So you need to train a little bit more frequently. And I think that the best balance between all this is training each body part twice a week. I think that that's the perfect balance between recovery and stimulation. So you need to up that frequency. You're not jacked because you're not training frequent enough. All right. Reason number 2, you're spending too much time dieting. You're not spending enough time in a calorie surplus or a mass gain phase to actually put muscle tissue on. In order to build muscle, your training has to be in check, and you also need to be in a calorie surplus, meaning that you're eating more calories than your body is actually burning. So you need to be in that state for a significant period of time. The amount of muscle that you're going to put on in a week, regardless of how hard you train or how perfect your diet is about 0.25 pounds of muscle a week. So 1/4 of a pound of muscle every week is the goal. So that means that at the end of a month, you're going to put on about 1 pound of muscle. Okay. That's just the way it works. It's just on average what I've seen. So if everything's perfect, that is, right? So if that's the case and you're spending a lot of time dieting, you're not actually spending time in that muscle building phase. You need to spend anywhere between 4 and 8 months plus in a mass building phase in order to actually get jacked. You can be as lean as you want to, right? You can get as lean as you want to. Follow all those guys on TikTok and you're going to get really, really lean. But the problem is you're going to get really, really lean and have no muscle. You're going to be like 130, 140 pounds, 150 pounds with no muscle. You're going to look like nothing. People will look at you on the street and say, oh, that guy looks like he's in shape. That's it. That's not what you want. You want to look jacked. So if you want to look jacked, you have to get jacked. And the only way to get jacked is to be muscular. And the only way to be muscular is to spend time in a calorie surplus, putting on muscle mass year after year after year. All right. So that's reason number 2. Reason number 3, you change movements so frequently that it makes it very hard for you to improve. So this week you follow Sam Sulek's diet training program. This next week you follow The Rock puts out a leg workout and you follow that leg workout. Or this influencer does this, so you copy that. By changing your workouts so frequently, you actually hurt your ability to put on muscle because you need to spend time finding what works for you. You need to find those movements that work best for you. Now, I'm not saying you can't swipe ideas from other people, but what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to swipe those ideas and implement them for yourself. So, example, let's say that you do shoulder press and you feel nothing in your delts when you do shoulder press. Then is shoulder press doing anything for you? Arguably not, right? Or lateral raises. Let's say you're doing lateral raises and you feel it all in your traps. What is that doing for your side delts? But by you changing routines all the time, how do you know what works and what doesn't? So you need to stop kind of changing those routines. Have like a set routine for yourself. And then if you see something you want to try, then absolutely you can go and swipe that and try it and see if it works for you. But you got to have like a staple program that you're following. So this way you can kind of see, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't for me. But if you're changing things too frequently, you're not going to know that. All right. Number 4, you're not controlling the negative portion of the movements. The negative portion, or the eccentric component of every lift that you do, is the one that creates the most muscle damage. It's the part of the lift that's going to build the muscle. It's the most important part. So if we're talking bicep curls, we're talking the negative on a bicep curl. If we're talking a bench press, we're talking about bringing the weight all the way down. If we're talking about a pull down or pull up, we're talking about letting the weight all the way up. So you got to control those negatives. We're talking lateral raises, we're talking about the letting it down. You got to control that. I would say anywhere between a 2 to 4 second negative is going to be enough to create as much damage as possible. So this way your body can sense, okay, something's going on in that side delt. We need to fix that, repair that, make that muscle bigger. So this way, when that happens again, we're ready. And that's basically what has to happen. We have to force muscle tissue on. And the way we do that is by controlling the negative. Too many guys nowadays, they go into the gym and they just heave the weight up and down. Not good. You need to control that negative component, okay? Now, reason number 5 you're not jacked is you aren't breaking the rules. Now, what the hell does that mean? Well, people like to think that there are bodybuilding rules out there, that there's certain principles that you need to follow. And while that could be true to some extent, rules are meant to be broken. The best guys out there, the ones who have crazy, insane physiques, break all the rules. Let me give you an example. Sam Sulek, he's going crazy on social media right now, but he broke the rules. He doesn't train his front delts at all. He doesn't do any overhead press. He doesn't do any type of pressing. And I've been talking about that for years, but he doesn't do any of that stuff. He just does side delts. And he actually said in his last video that he's going to cut down that volume because that body part responds really well for him. And he doesn't need any more of it. So he actually has to slow down the building of that muscle to bring up the other areas. So he broke the rules there, right? No, he doesn't have to shoulder press. Another good example of this, Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi, he just put out a video that he, works out. He was working out in the gym or whatever. He doesn't train chest because he feels like his chest is a strong point. So he just avoids training chest. And he trains full body every day and starts with calves. So again, these guys broke the rules. If you talk to any bodybuilder, or you look in any muscle and fitness magazine or in any forum, they'll laugh and say, oh, that's wrong. No, you have to shoulder press. You have to deadlift. You have to do these things. Maybe, maybe not. Every person is different. So you need to figure out what works for you and not worry about everybody else. You need to break those bodybuilding rules and figure out what works for you. If you're not breaking the rules, you're not going to get jacked. And sometimes you find gold when you break rules. Because again, there are certain things that people think are just standards out there, and it's not necessarily true. So break those rules and you'll build more muscle. All right, if you made it this far into the video, I got a free gift for you for just making it this far in the video. I got a free 6-week training program that I want to give you for free. And this program is going to help you to put on more muscle and help you to avoid the mistakes that I made when I started. Totally free, no strings attached. All you got to do is click that link below and download that program. All right, guys, until the next time, this is Anthony, AB Fitness. I'll catch you guys on the next one.